Toops, and you're in the Always Believe room jamming to some Friday Night Light music. Nothing beats music like the band. So let's turn that music up. Okay, now then, we're going to start today. Today, you're going to take the equation of the line, or you're actually going to graph the equation of the line and generate the y-intercept or the slope-intercept and the standard form of the line. Okay, so we're going to have a blast graphing linear functions. Let me get that paper up here. Y'all ready for the fun? I know y'all can't wait. Okay. So basically what you do, you start off with an equation. I'm going to zoom in on one. We start off with an equation. We're going to graph it just like you did in 8th grade. And then we're going to get all of this information from the line. So we're going to write the slope-intercept form, the standard form. We're going to get the x, the y-intercept, and the slope. And I'm going to show you how to use standard form to get these intercepts. Okay? That's very important. So let's start with number one. Okay, we have this in y equal mx plus b, don't we? So write down that's too thick. Let's use this one. Write down m equals -9 and b equals -5. So we need to graph this line, don't we? We also need to get the x and y intercepts, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so our y-intercept is -5. Excuse me, so I'm going to go down here and draw a dot. Now then, my slope is -9, which would be -9 over 1. I cannot go down 9 because I'm going to get off the graph, won't I? I should go down 9 and write 1, right? If I can't go down, I have to go up. Since this is a negative slope, I won't go up and to the right, I'll go up and to the left. So from right here, we're going to count up 9 and go to the left 1. So if I go up 9 and left 1, I'm at -1, 4. Okay, so I have these two dots, don't I? Now then, I'm going to connect those dots just like you did in 8th grade with a line. Just do the best you can when you connect. Circle your x-intercept and circle your y-intercept. Notice my x-intercept is somewhere between 0 and -1. It's not an integer, is it? Okay, now then let's go down to here. We want the slope-intercept form, which is right here. So write down y equals -9x minus 5. Now then, standard form, write this down. This is the standard form helps you get your intercepts. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay? So we want the x and the y on the left and the c on the right, and there can be no fractions. No fractions at all in standard form. Okay, so on this problem right here, all I'm going to do, write down y equals -9x minus 5. Notice I don't have any fractions. All I have to do is take that 9x and move it to the left. When I do that, the negative 9x will turn into positive 9x. We did this solving literal equations, didn't we? So we're going to take the 9x and move it from the right to the left, and it will turn into a positive on it. So write this down. So notice it matches this up, right? My x is first, my y is in the middle, my constant's on the right. So let's write this down. 9x plus y equals -5. Oh, so this right here is the standard form. Everyone understand what I did? I got to get it in this form. I want my x first, my y in the middle, and my c with no fractions. So all I did is move that 9x to the very beginning, and now this is in standard form. Now then, to get your intercepts, remember this is ax plus by equals c, correct? Your x-intercept will always be c over a. Always. Your y-intercept will always be c over b. So if I take this number and divide it by this x number, I will get my x-intercept every single time. If I take this number and divide it by this number, I will get my y-intercept. So let's work this out. We're going to put -5 over 9, right? Will -5 over 9 simplify? It won't, will it? Notice this line crosses between 0 and -1, right? It crosses at -5 over 9. So I'm going to put -5 over 9 for my x-intercept. And my y-intercept will be -5 divided by 1, won't it? We already know the x-intercept's negative 5 in it, but this gives us negative 5 also, doesn't it? So if you have it in standard form, you can get your intercepts, which is one of the big reasons we write equations in standard forms. So my y-intercept is negative 5, and notice this number right here was my slope, right? So my slope's going to be negative 9. So notice what the TEK says you have to be able to do is look at a line and figure out what the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the slope is of that line. So you could do that by converting that to standard form and getting this, okay? That's basically why we're doing this. Let's go down to one that has a, do any of them? There's none of the others that have fractions, okay? So let's go up here and do number 2. We'll do like 3 of these. Number 2, we have y equal 5 over 4x. This is typically y equal 5 over 4x plus 0, right? Because there's no y-intercept, right? So the y-intercept is 0 in it. So put a dot at the 0. Now then our slope is 5 over 4, right? If we want to, we can write that down. The m equals 5 over 4, and our slope, or y-intercept is 0 in it. So from this dot, I'm going to go up 5, right 4, aren't I? So count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw a dot. Can I go backwards? I can put another dot down here, can I? So instead of going up, I'm going to go down. So from right here, I'm going to count down 5 and over 4, and I'll be at negative 4 comma negative 5, right? Now then connect those dots. This is going to be pretty simple to do. Now then let's go down to here. The standard form is what's going to get you. Y'all did not write standard form down last year, so this is going to be the hindrance here. You'll get the hang of this though. Okay, so our slope-intercept form is y equals 5 over 4x. You don't have to put the plus 0. Okay, now then, over here to the right, write down y equals 5 over 4x. To get this into standard form, you've got to get rid of the fraction. This is one reason why I taught you the way I taught you. To get rid of the fraction, I'm going to distribute that 4. So put a 4. Use your bluebell chart. What's 4 times y? It's 4y. Equals, these 4's cancel out, and it gives you 5x. And then put plus 0 if you want. Now then, remember, standard form, I have to get the x first, the b middle, and the c right. X first, b middle, c right. So I'm going to take that 5x and put it at the beginning of the equation. When I do that, the positive 5x will turn into a negative 5x. So negative 5x plus 4y equals 0. This is in standard form. I have my x first, my y second, my c last, but I can't leave the x negative. I have to make the x positive. So we're going to switch every sign. So basically you're dividing by negative 1. Okay, you don't have to show that. But that's technically what you're doing. So the x can't be negative in standard. So if the x is negative, switch these signs. So my standard form would be 5x minus 4y equals 0. So I'm going to put that right here in standard form. Now then, the x and y intercept are 0 on it. But watch this. If I put 0 over 5, I get 0 on it. If I put 0 over negative 4, I'll get 0 on it. So this standard form right here will give you the x and y intercept. And our slope was what? 5 over 4, right? Oh, that's more power. Don't, listen, y'all have not gone from here to standard ever. So this will take some time. I'll do a couple of them with you, okay? Don't panic. You're going to be okay. I don't think any of these others have fractions. So you don't have to get rid of the fractions on the rest of them. So it'll be simple. Okay, we're going to do one more completely, then I'll switch a y-intercept to a standard for you, okay? Notice on this one, this is in standard form, isn't it? Everyone see that? That is in standard form. So I can go ahead and write down my standard form. So I'm going to write down 5x minus 4y equals 16. So this is in standard. I need to get my y-intercept. You did this last year. So write down 5x minus 4y equals 16. To make it y-intercept, we have to solve for the y, don't we? So we're going to move the 5 across and divide by the negative 4. When I move that 5 over, it's going to go from a positive to a, right, it's going to go from a positive to negative, the same way we solve literal equations. So now I'm going to write down negative 4y equals negative 5x plus 16. Remember, I want y equal mx plus b, right? Y equal mx plus b. In standard form, I want x, y, and a number. In y-intercept, y equal x and the number. Now I need to divide by negative 4, don't I? Yeah, so I'm going to get y equals, 2 negatives make a positive, so 5 over 4x, and 16 divided by negative 4 is minus 4. This right here is going to end up being my y-intercept in it. Okay, so I'm going to start graphing this line at negative 4. So to graph the line, we want to go from here to here, don't we? You always want y-intercept to start graphing it. Now that since I'm here, I'm going to graph this line. I'm going to go up 5, right 4, up 5, right 4. So if I go up 5, right 4, I'm right here. I cannot go down and get another dot, and I can't go up. So that's it. Now they connect the dots. Notice, circle the x and y intercepts. Notice the x-intercept is a fraction in it. It's somewhere between 3 and 4. My y-intercept, though, is negative 4. Now then, let's write down the slope-intercept form. It's y equals 5 over 4x minus 4. Now then, remember what I told you again. Write this down over here. Write down ax plus by equals c. ax plus by equals c. You probably haven't done any work in standard form. Your x-intercept will be c divided by a. Write that down. Your y-intercept will be c divided by b. So if I take this number and divide it by that number, I get my x-intercept every single time. If I take this number and divide it by the coefficient of y, I'll get my y-intercept every single time. So let's look at this standard form. 16 is c in it. If I take 16 and divide it by 5, I get my x-intercept. That would turn into 3 1/5, wouldn't it? And notice this line crosses between 3 and 4, doesn't it? It would cross at 3 1/5. I don't know why they do this. They leave this as 16 over 5. You won't make it 3 2/10. You won't make it 3 1/5. You'll leave it as 16 over 5. Now then, our y-intercept should end up being negative 4, shouldn't it? So we're going to take the 16 and divide it by the negative 4. Guess what happens if you take 16 and divide it by negative 4? You get the negative 4, don't you? So this divided by this is your x-intercept. This divided by this is your y-intercept. You just learned this today. So you'll get the hang of it, okay? And our slope was 5 over 4, wasn't it? So from this line, you have generated the slope-intercept, the standard form, and you've got your x-intercept, your y-intercept, and your slope haven't you? You should be able to look at this graph and know your x and y intercepts. And we'll do one more. I'm just going to convert an equation to standard. Let's look at number 4 over here, because number 4 is already in standard. You're going to do number 4 the same way you did this one. Let's look here. Okay, really quickly, this is not in the correct form, is it? I need my x first, my y second, and my constant last. So let's put it in that form, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to put the x first, negative 5x. I'm going to put the 3y second, and I'm going to move this 15 across. When I do that, the positive 15 will change to negative 15. So I have my x, my y, and my c, right? ax plus by equals c. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this? Excellent! You can't leave your x negative, can you? So we're going to switch all 3 signs. So this will turn into 5x minus 3y equals 15. That is my standard form. So go down here and put 5x minus 3y equals 15. Now then, to graph this line, you've got to turn it into mx plus b, don't you? So I've got to take the 5x and move it across, don't I? The positive 5x will turn into negative 5x when I move it across. So negative 3y equals negative 5x plus 15. Everyone with me? So I took the 5x, moved it into the middle on the other side of the equal sign, and the positive went from a positive to a negative. Now I need to divide everything by -3, right? 3 fraction bars, put -3 down. Oh! I'm going to get y equals 2 negatives make a positive, and then a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and now then I can graph that line, can I? I'm not going to take all the fun away from you. So you need to graph this line, put it right here. Okay, you need to get your x and y intercepts the same way I did over here. Your slope is what, 5/3? Okay, so you're going to repeat the process of what we've done above. Just do your work. You're going to be fine. This is a blast. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have trouble, rewatch the videos and duplicate what I do on the videos on this. You should be okay. There's really no fractions on this. So you just kind of put them, and these are already in standard up here, most of them, okay? So switch them to standard, x, y, and the number. Make sure your x is positive. Switch it to y-intercept and graph. Remember, what you're trying to get from that graph is the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the slope, and you can do that with standard form. You can get both of your intercepts. Y'all are awesome students. Remember to always believe, and you are awesome. Oh, oh, oh.